How you doing?
I'm exceptionally well. I hope you are.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So we're doing our VIP buyer meeting for you guys, and I know we already talked about like why'd you want to purchase a home. You told me about your family size, all the things that you were interested in. What we're gonna do right now is I'm just gonna kind of walk you through how we actually help you buy a home. I'm gonna take down your home buying criteria, and I'm gonna answer any questions you have and see if we might be a good fit for each other. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. So let me share my screen. And
Okay.
there may be another lady joining us from Michigan. She's on our training team, and sometime I like to have her sit in meetings just so she can see like what we're doing training wise, right?
Okay.
No problem. So this is, can you see my screen?
Sure.
Awesome. So this is what we call our VIP buyer system. And obviously my team is the Anthony Thornton home selling team. I'm with EXP Realty. And so just a little bit about me. This is Karen Wilson. She's from the Michigan area. She's part of our training team, Bianca. So I wanted her to kind of sit in on this meeting she has about 30 minutes, okay?
Sure thing. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Bianca. Nice to meet you as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Awesome. So originally I'm from Los Angeles, California. I've been in Atlanta since 1999. I'm a #1 best-selling author for the book that you see there called List, Market, Sold, this book right here. I'm the only real estate agent in the Southeast that has a #1 best-selling book. I train real estate agents all over the world on a weekly basis. I've been involved in over 3,900 transactions. I also own Guaranteed Home Loans. It's one of the largest mortgage brokerages here in Georgia. Florida, and nationwide now. So undergrad, finance, I have an MBA, I have what's called Six Sigma Master Black Belt from Villanova. I'm an Air Force veteran, Bianca. I was in Desert Storm. I was an air traffic controller. I was the guy sitting in the tower making sure no planes crashed into each other, keeping everybody safe. And then I have a wife. We have 4 kids. Our daughters are 29, 28. Our boys are 17, 18, and 16. So we're busy. We also have a foundation called Giving Kids a Future Foundation, where we just help disadvantaged kids of all races become future leaders, CEOs, and philanthropists. And sometimes when people say, Anthony, well, what do you do outside of just real estate, mortgages, entrepreneurship? I referee college basketball. So I'm a basketball ref, been run up and down a basketball court since 1996. I've been called every name in the book. So it's nothing that anybody can say really to hurt my feelings. I've heard it all. Okay. Pretty fun.
I'm sure.
We talk about here in Bianca, we say marry the house and date the rate, right? Because a lot of people are saying, well, I want to wait till rates go down, right? I want to wait till rates go back down. But here's a fact. Historically, since interest rates were invented, the average rate from like the last 40, 50 years for a 30-year fixed mortgage has been around 6.74. Now, there's only been one time in history where everybody was in the 2s and 3s, and that was during, 2020, 2021. So I always tell people, you might as well get the house, because in Metro Atlanta, as you know, because you were going to purchase in 2018, home prices keep going up no matter what in Metro Atlanta, because so many of us transplants, we move here. Most of us are not from here, and we just keep buying houses because we have to. Because you might as well get the equity in the home, and then when rates go back down, we can just refinance you later. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Awesome, awesome. Glad to hear that. And so,
there's only 2 reasons to buy a home.
I'll let that go. I'm gonna let that go because I was explaining to some other people like the 2 reasons to buy a home. But what we do is we have a partnership with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And that's a big deal for us. We take a portion of every single real estate and mortgage closing, and we donate it to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta to help save kids' lives. Have you ever heard of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when you give us a referral, Bianca, and I'm going to ask you for some today, just so you know, whenever you give us a referral and we close a transaction, we're going to give some money to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So the people who take their children there, they never leave with a bill. So I love kids, so that's why we support this cause. So let's talk about this. There's two types of agency. One's called seller agency and buyer agency. In Georgia is a little bit different than some other states. And in seller agency is this, where if you work with the seller's agent, or you walk into a subdivision, or you don't have a realtor representing you, basically they don't have any fiduciary obligations to you. Sometimes buyers who have not bought a home think if they don't have a realtor and they deal directly with the seller's agent that they're going to get a better deal. That's not true. I mean, all the numbers show if you have representation that you would actually get more favorable deal because you have somebody fighting on your behalf. You know, I like to equate that to, that's like going to court for a serious charge without a lawyer thinking the prosecutor is going to look out for you. And we know that doesn't end well, right? So what we're talking about today is buyer agency. And that's where you have somebody on your team that's going to be representing you and your family's wishes and what you want to get done in a transaction. And we're going to make sure that all your fiduciary mindset and things that you want, that we take care of those in writing and protect you guys all the way to closing and after closing. So here's a fact. Buyers who don't have a buyer's agent representing them, they're working with an agent who represents the seller's interest. That's just the bottom line. So you want to make sure that you have somebody representing you as well. Does that sound pretty good to you?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's talk about the benefits of buyer agency. Like, this is what only buyer agents can do for you. Protect your interests at all times. Disclose matters, even pointing out reasons not to buy. Here's something unique to Georgia. Let's say you wanted to buy a home and your agent, not me, you had another agent, and they knew something terrible happened in that home. They don't have to disclose that to you. But when you work with me and my team, we're going to make sure you get all the information. We're going to do all the research we can about the home, look at newspapers, archives, everything, because we want to make sure that when you and your family move into that new home, that you get the good feeling of when you're sitting around that there's no negativity in the house or anything bad might have happened in that home. So we're going to make sure that happens for you. And then you're going to give you a property CMA. What a CMA is called a comparative market analysis. Normally, most real estate agents only give that to sellers, but we want to give it to you because before we write an offer, I'm going to do some research for you guys and make sure that, hey, is this price really a real price? Like, is this not an inflated price like the market we just came out of? And then want to make sure you guys know 100% when you make an offer, it's an offer that's fair for you, fair for the seller. It's going to get you guys the home that you love. And then we're only going to represent your interests. We're going to structure all offers that promote and protect you and your family. We're going to keep your financial capabilities to pay more confidential. What does that mean? You said you had a pre-approval around $380,000. If you find a house for $350,000, we're not going to send them your pre-approval letter at $380,000 so they can up the price on you, right? We're going to send it to exactly whatever the offer is that we're submitting. That allows you not to overpay for a home. You appreciate that, I'm sure, right? And then what we want to do is make sure that we represent you in all FMLS, MLS properties. We want to get you access, you mentioned earlier, to foreclosures, bank-owned homes, auctions for sale by owners, and